So here we are, back again, fireside chat. I've got rid of the jumper and I've exchanged that for branded logos of all of our suppliers. But as always, I do have a list of questions hot off the press from our members that they would like us to answer. So I'm just going to kick straight off with number one that I've got here. And it's quite a good one, quite an apt one, right, for people like us. How do you stop the boss from being a control freak?
Is there a problem with it, or?
You do not hand in crap like this. This looks like you took a crap or a dump in the printer. You are scum. I should fire you and burn down your friggin' house.
Asking us. Oh, literally. The people who actually that branded the phrase, if I want your opinion, I'll give it you. The problem with the boss who is an overtly, in my opinion, Dean, the problem with the boss who is an overtly control freak type of person means that they become the bottleneck for everything in the business and everything seems to slow down. So they want to create momentum and do all these great projects. But if they're the one trying to do it, well, one, if the senior leader is the major breadwinner, nothing ever gets done. No projects actually get any momentum. So I've got a couple of tips that people could consider. One is sharing tasks out.
The dumpling squadron will take position here, while the cookie squadron will take position here. Now, on my signal, the two squadrons will...
Now, I used to do it and be quite mean. So the person who's least good at reporting accurately, I would make that person the champion of reporting, and there'd be a bonus element associated with it. So all of a sudden, your weakest link then had to become the person who was the champion of it. But if you think about all the tasks that you've got as a business leader, there's a whole heap of those tasks that you can pass out. So one person will be responsible for making sure that all the reports are ready on the Friday. And the things that they will find out really quickly by doing that is that they have to then remind people on the Wednesday and on a Thursday to get them ready so they come out on the Friday. So then everyone becomes so much better at doing this. Me as a leader doesn't need to worry about that. All that heavy lifting is being done for you. It also means that the people working around you become bought in. You're giving them authority and responsibility. They're taking on some key tasks. You're freeing up loads of your effort. You're still going to have checks and balances and weights and measures to make sure that people don't make mistakes. But you can pass so much of this stuff on. And I know you're a champion of doing things like that as well, aren't you?
Yeah, it is hard. We do battle with it. I think as entrepreneurs, as business owners, you always battle with you don't want to ever feel like you don't know what's going on. I mean, you even get what I used to call entrepreneurial guilt. If you took an hour longer than you should do to do something at a lunch or whatever else, you felt like you needed to make it up, even though you're probably working weekends, evenings and whatever else. So getting out of that function that made you a good person at starting a business or starting an entity within a business, you've just built up this massive rocket fuel of energy that keeps going. And I think if you're looking at it from a boss's point of view, yes, you've got to start to delegate. Your job is to find people to make your jigsaw, to fill each part so that they can do different things and you can actually scale. Because as you said, if you're the person billing or driving it from the front, you'll never be able to scale your business. It's just impossible. There's only one of you, right? To be able to create different parts of that, you need to be able to give people a little bit more autonomy. And I think on the flip of that, if I was looking at the people that I trusted and I passed stuff on to, and I was, back when I started businesses, I was on it all the time. I was a bit mental. I needed to know everything and twice over.
Well, obviously that's changed.
Yeah, that's changed a lot. But it would be those that actually made me feel comfortable by not waiting to be told, but coming and taking it from me, saying, Dean, do you know what? Just don't worry, I can do that. And proving themselves, showing that they can transcend actually their peers within that group because they want to be elevated to team leader, manager, director, whatever it might be. And I think in life, you start to reward those individuals who put their head above the parapet and say, come on, I want a bit more. What are you going to give me? I can do that and take on that task. And I think I was one of those, you'd have been one of those. And we recognize that in individuals and that's what you reward.
But it's also quite important that you don't fill your diary for 5 days. Now, it started by, I thought 20% of my time should be spent on the business while I was going through a growth phase. So that's 1 day a week where I didn't do any deals and I just started working on it. Then I got busier, and then I used to just map out my mornings where I was doing pretty much recruitment activity or I meetings or whatever I needed to do. And my afternoons were always free to do the things that I needed to do or had to do because of what was happening around me. So I always built in time to firefight. But one of the easiest ways to do that is that we talk about KPIs and KIPs. Make sure you have a really strong dashboard. Use someone like OneUp to give you some brilliant data. And then you can build in exceptions reporting. Now, it's one of the members who taught me this, which was a genius move. He doesn't get reports on everything which is above the standard trajectory, what you need to be happening. If anything or anyone falls below the required element, he only gets reports of those people. So those people are the ones where he was actually asking of their managers, what are you doing about this? It basically just saved him a huge amount of time, a huge amount of reading. Exceptions reporting was genius. And you can do that with any of the latest, greatest technology.
Yeah. Going back to my old FD, who's now our FD, that's how my reporting was done. If there was a drop in margin, if there was a drop in any of the KIPs in terms of what they were, I got that on a flash report and I got it immediately. So the idea was, I speak to so many businesses, well, at the end of the month, we look at this, or we do something each quarter. The horse is bolted by then. You need to be on top of that. And that allows, and this is a saying that I've been using for years, and I bring it up because I used it yesterday, was it allows you to, you don't have to be that bottleneck within your own business. You don't have to be the person who's on it so much that you're slowing things down, because you get to tweak the rug. And what I mean by that is you get to ask little questions all the time. What's going on here? Because you know the answers, and that keeps everybody on their toes. Because if you leave it for too long and it becomes an issue, you're pulling the rug from underneath them. What's going on? Why do we have to change this? This is a material issue for the business. Just tweak the rug. When you play football, or you play sport, you play anything, they say to you, stay on your toes. Stay on your toes, stay agile. All right. So I used to call it in my businesses tweaking the rug. Now it's not a euphemism.
Oh no, Mrs.
It's just keeping everybody on their toes.
All I've got now is an image of me standing behind Terry Wogan giving it that. It's like that's. And the final point on that. Outsource everything that isn't core. So if you can outsource it, if you can find an expert who can do things for you, pay them accordingly. If they fail in what they do, you can basically stop paying them. You can charge them, you can get a fee which you're happy with. It is so much better to get professionals because they do it so much quicker than you. So don't pretend. It's like when you're trying to implement an IT system, what makes you the best project manager to do that? Get a professional to do it. We've all done it. We've all made, I know how to do this. I understand our working principles and processes so much better than anybody else. Dog shit. So always outsource it to a professional if you possibly can. So on that note, don't be a bottleneck. Keep your business going, full pace, full momentum, maximize.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Empower your people.